So I hear all the time from women who say, okay, my husband is a great guy. He is so understanding, and he often will say, just tell me what you want to do in the sexual experience. I'm willing to just put you first and let's just make this a pleasurable experience for you. And you sit there and you're like, I don't know what I want. And you kind of panic and you don't know where to go. This video is not only to explain why this happens to so many women so you know that you are not alone, but also I'll give you some tips on what to do. And yeah, that's what we're going to get done today. My name is Janna Denton-Howes. I am a desire coach. I help women who are married to men want and enjoy sex more in an authentic way that doesn't feel full of guilt, shame, pressure, weird awkwardness, nothing like that. Fully aligns with who you are as a woman. I am the creator of Wanting It More, which is an 8-week group coaching program for women. I run this 3 times a year, and if you want to join the fall round, you can go ahead and sign up in the link that I'll tell you at the end of this video. All right, so here are the 3 reasons why it is so hard for you and other women to figure out what they actually want in the bedroom. Number 1, you never had the opportunity to actually learn what you want. Were you asked this when you were young? Were you given any opportunity from culture? Is this something that you watch in movie where everyone's like, okay, let's just pause a second here. And what do you want to do? How should we proceed? No, it's actually the opposite. You have men who are like, here, let's do this thing. I know you'll like it. And the woman's like, I don't know. I need to kind of go. And he's like, come here. And then she's like, woo, you're right. You know me better than I do. That's the storyline that we have again and again in our culture. So you've never really had the opportunity from a culture perspective to ask what you want. Maybe in your relationship, it has been very much focused on your husband, but not only if he's pressuring you, but also because if you're thinking along those lines. Pressure can come from internal as well, and it's kind of like internal patriarchy, and you might be married to a really great guy, but it's still there because it's the root, it's in your epigenetic, it's in your genes, it's in the soup of culture that you live in. Okay, so number 1, you've never even had the opportunity to ask, what do I want, from a real place. And so really this ties into the second one, is that maybe you've felt pressure for the things that you say that you do like to be acceptable, to be intense enough, to be sexually, I don't know, like there's some sort of check marks or check boxes or litmus test, and how exciting, how sexual an act is. And for example, when I actually ask myself, what do I like? What do I want? I like to be squeezed tightly. I like to have a still hand on my lower back. I like to breathe. I love it when my husband gives me reassuring words and words of appreciation. I love looking at my husband's calf muscles. I love being wrapped in a hug, but not a tight squeeze. I like kind of a little bit of looseness around there. I like to rub my husband's hair when it's just been cut, but not when it's longer. I like cheek kisses and forehead kisses and kisses on my shoulder, but not necessarily mouth kisses. So there's so much available to you, but if you feel like it has to meet a certain bar, a certain expectation, a certain test, then you're going to end up saying, I don't know what I want. You do know what you want. You just don't think that it's sexual enough or acceptable enough. And lastly, we have so many cultural messages around women not being sluts, not being anything but ladylike, and oh no, you go first, and I don't want anything. Even the word pleasure has been totally defiled in our culture because it's connected to female sexual pleasure, which apparently is the worst thing in the world in our society. So we have so many messages that tell us that we should not feel good, and we should put all of our resources and energies into helping the men that we're with feel good. In fact, even the way that we feel good should actually kind of in a roundabout way support them. So we should have orgasms so that they feel good about being our partners. So here's the recap on why it maybe feels so hard for you to really get to what you want and what feels good for you in the sexual experience. Number one, you've never had the opportunity to actually answer from an authentic way, what do I want? Because you've been told that that's an unacceptable question. Number two, you have pressure for your answer to be in that little narrowly defined box of acceptable sexual acts, which a lot of women just actually don't enjoy. So permission to widen that out and actually make a list of things that you really do enjoy. And it doesn't have to be sexual. It could be anything to do with your body, your senses, your smells, and your husband's body. For example, my husband came in today and he was dressed in his work clothes. I love it when he wears his work clothes. So why can't I have him come to bed in his work clothes? I do because I like it. I like to touch him through a shirt. So I can have that. I like it when he says my name over and over again. So I can have that. I like to initiate most of the touch because that helps me feel safe and comfortable and leads to more pleasure. So I can have that. For so many years, I thought, no, that's not acceptable. So I can't have that. And so I thought I was asexual. I thought I was numb. I thought I couldn't experience pleasure. Turns out I'm really good at pleasure. I am excellent at pleasure, but not when I'm not allowed to actually have the kind of pleasure that's actually going to be pleasure. Okay? So lastly, those cultural messages: be ladylike, stay quiet, put others above yourself, don't be a slut, don't be loose, don't even the word pleasure has such a horrible connotation in our culture. This is why when I chose to really reclaim the word pleasure, but I have a lot of women who I teach who feel very uncomfortable with that word. Why? Because female sexual pleasure is wrong in our culture, apparently. So they use the word enjoyable or delightful or something else. Me, I'm taking it back. It's allowed. All right, so just a final word about what to do now. Really, take what I'm sharing to heart. Please make a list of the things that you actually enjoy. I like it when my husband puts his hand on me in a very casual way. I don't like him gripping my legs or my body. I don't like his fingers running. I don't like movement. I like a casual hand on my body, which means it's like limp and loose. That makes me feel really safe and comfortable. I also really enjoy primarily the warmth of his hand. It's not the movement of his hand. I like to hug my husband, but he's 6 foot. He's taller than me. I'm 5'3", and so I want him down low on my level. Like I said, I don't really like mouth kissing, but when I do, I initiate. I want his mouth to be relaxed, and I just run my mouth and lips over his mouth and lips. That's it. Unless I'm really turned on, and then I lead something else. I mean, I could go on and on about what I've discovered, which is acceptable and leads to more pleasure. And so I challenge you, if you are saying, I don't know what I want, is it that you don't know what you want? Or are some of these other barriers coming up and you do know what you want? What I found after supporting hundreds of women, even over 1,000 women in wanting it more, is that it's usually the latter. They know what they want. They just are worried about what they want. They're feeling pressure that it's not acceptable what they want, and they're also just not even giving themselves the opportunity to genuinely ask, what do I want? Because it's always in service of their husband's pleasure instead. Okay, so I hope those little little notes, those little 3 reasons why are helpful to you, and I would love to hear if they were. Please drop a comment below, send me an email. And if you are interested in the Wanting It More program, which we go into all of these things, that's basically the first module. We talk about having self-compassion. So we're looking at these cultural messages and these reasons why, so that we don't blame ourselves. That's what people do, is say, I have low libido. You don't have low libido. You're perfectly fine. But there are other things that are going on. That's just one of 3 modules that we go through step by step by step, covering everything you need to know to really, really want and enjoy sex for the rest of your relationship. I have hundreds of testimonials to prove that this program works. It's usually actually the last stop for women who have tried everything else. And if you want to hear their stories and more about wanting it more, you can go to jannadentonhowes.com/wantingitmore. And we are now enrolling for the fall round. So if you go there, you just go click join the waitlist. You'll receive an email right away that offers you the opportunity to join, because the waitlist is growing pretty rapidly. Okay, I will talk to you soon. Bye.